The following program was paid for by Southern American Media. Fox 30 WGBC invites you to the talk of all the towns in East Mississippi and West Alabama. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Candace, as we start your early, what is today? Wednesday.
It is. It's Wednesday, middle of the week.
Look who fell out of a Hallmark movie and showed up to work today.
Goodness. I feel so tired because we were up kind of late. We went to my mother's with the weather being bad. And we went on home about almost midnight, I guess, 11 something. And I just didn't get in the bed till late.
Yeah,
so.
There's a lot of folks that are struggling this morning to get by.
And I woke up at like 2 to pouring rain and wind. And, and you know, I was worried because I just didn't get a notification on my phone. Usually I'll get it'll ding real loud.
Yeah.
And if there's any kind of a warning coming through or anything, but it did not do that.
It was trying to get over that snoring you were doing.
Probably so. I'm sure I was because I was so tired.
Boy, I tell you. And I really got to work on this as we move studios, so things are a little bit different now as we look at things. But I had to walk to work, and when I got over here, I was soaked.
I bet.
That was a downpour. I got to come up with a better plan on how I handle when bad weather, like plan ahead.
Yeah, you might just have to spend the night at the studio or something to get up.
I needed to put my pants, as I was sitting here doing it, I really needed to put them in a dryer to make it through that.
So did you sleep at all last night? I bet you were up most of the night.
I got about an hour's worth. I watched it. There's a lot of times you just don't go live. You sit back and you watch it. Does it monitor it? Do you know that it's not that bad?
Yeah.
And but we did go live with that last tornado warning for a few moments there in the wee hours for Clark County. Now, if you're in all that, it's scary. And there was a lot of warnings, a lot of rain last night, Candace.
It was a lot of rain. And there is a lot of limbs on the road. Just be careful.
Yeah,
if it's a road that's not traveled a whole lot,
The rural route.
Right, yeah. So there could be limbs. I know there's tons of leaves. So all those really, really pretty trees that had the red, bright leaves on them yesterday, they're probably not there today. They're probably gone, laying on the ground.
When's the last time y'all had somebody pass your house?
Well, I mean, people pass our house every day.
You sure?
Yeah, they do. They pass our house. Why?
Because I was remembering as a kid, when we lived on the rural route in Scuba, sometimes you could go a whole day and no one would pass the house.
Now, usually, if somebody passes our house, they either live on our road or they're cutting through our road to get to another road, from where they live because it's a little quicker or something. But usually, I mean, you pretty much know who is a normal person. Normally come. I say normal person.
You mean
normally coming through
traveler.
A regular traveler? Yeah. But anyway.
But and I remember this as a kid. I can still remember this. Mayhead, who used to keep me when I was a little boy. This was like big news for us because I can remember my daddy when I was young out with a water hose. Whenever he'd wash his car, he'd wet the road down where nobody could get dust on his car. And I remember there standing with my little Tonka dump truck. Yeah. And they come through with the pavement in front of the house. And that was we watched that for days.
Okay. He was serious about keeping his truck clean if he was wetting the road down.
He done it every time he washed a car.
Oh, goodness.
That water hose would stand out there.
Yeah.
He had issues. My daddy was all about a car.
A lot of people are, yeah.
I broke down once and he wouldn't loan me one of his. I mean, he was like dead serious on that. It was a no-no to touch something of his when it come with a car.
A lot of people are, I can go take mine through the car wash and drive down my driveway one time.
And it's over, isn't it?
Yeah. You have to go really slow creeping down the driveway.
And it gets in that back window and you can't see out.
Yeah, it's gravel dust, it just gets all over it. But anyway.
As you wake up now, early this morning when I got back here at 4 and we started this all over again, getting the information ready for today, there was a lot of people without power. Now as we look at this, the MEPA has been hustling in these early morning hours. Let's look at this. Here we go. We are down to about 26 people now without power. As we zoom in on this to take a look, we got 3 north of Bailey, and to the west of Meridian here above Chunky, we've got about 22 left there. Here's the red zone as you'll look at this. Let's zoom in on this a little bit closer, as you'll see there. Bogue Flower Road is where that is. About 22 people there, and they're working to get that restored. And again, they have been truly hustling throughout these morning hours to get this taken care of to where you can do it.
Yeah. It was a scary night to me, though. Like, because my daughter texted me one time and she said, we are under the staircase in the closet. She was in Starkville. And I knew that there was a tornado warning, had been issued. She said, there's a tornado warning. We're under the staircase in the closet. And we're safe right now. But so I was in the shower when she texted me.
Yeah.
So when I got out, it was like a 15-minute time frame to where I saw the message, and I tried to call her, I couldn't get her. Tried to text her, she didn't text me back. So that's when I called you, and I was like, "Has there been a tornado hit Stark?" It scared me.
It is.
So there's a lot of people that were worried about their children, different areas. I know I was panicking. I think Kurt was ready to choke me, but yeah, my son.
And
was
I'm not going to
work.
touch that. I'm going to let that go.
Well, my son was at work. I mean, he was working at a steel company, and I was like, that it's a tornado warning. It's like right out, kind of coming near y'all. We're fine. We're in a steel building, Mom. I'm like, really?
You need his boss's number. We can just call him and go, hey.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. He's like, Mom, I'm at work. I cannot talk.
Who did Cheryl say's done stripped? Oh, wait a minute. It's her Bradford tree that stripped this morning from the wind.
Yeah.
Y'all be careful there. There was a lot of that. And as Candace mentioned a moment ago, there's probably limbs and highways, and if you're going too fast, you try to slow down and a little slide in there.
That's right. Be extra careful. We got a birthday. Kason Gordon, happy birthday today. And let's see.
We get a note there from Anitra that she says that her son's dorm room was hit last night.
Like to have got
Tornado like to have hit. Okay,
yeah,
like to have hit. Got close. I read that wrong.
That's in Starkville.
Yeah. Now,
that's scary. Thank goodness that.
Let me show this. As we talked about there at the end, is that tornado was winding down, or the warnings were winding down. Highway 19 north at House. It was some serious 58 mile an hour. At one time got up to some 80 mile an hour sheer winds. And as always, there's something that breaks or happens when we start seeing that on radar. And it was no different as we go here to take a look. And again, this was at Talbert Enterprises right here in front of it. Look at that. That's a pretty heavy light pole to get.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're wondering,
tough winds last night.
It was. Now, if you're wondering why this morning is taking maybe a few hours extra to get you power, you can't do that like snap of a finger. They got crews hurrying.
Right. Because I'm sure they have to set the pole, then transfer the line over. I mean, it's
in the wet conditions.
Yeah.
It makes
Thank
it rough.
goodness for these people that get out and do this. I mean, these linemen. And
I cannot imagine one of your kids being a lineman and you on the phone going, "Now, honey."
I would be one of my friends' sons is a lineman. And
do you check on him too?
I do not, but I know she probably worries about him. It's a dangerous job. I'm thankful that we have them, but
like the firemen, when they go to a call, they're checked on every 15 minutes. Do you have that set up with your kid?
No, I don't. Look, I would rather be that parent though than somebody that just don't care. I mean,
there's no doubt you care. There's no doubt. Even your kids, if they were here, would testify to that.
I know. I guess I am overbearing, but I worry about them.
I didn't say that.
They'd probably get sick of me talking about that, but anyway. Sorry.
This is such a Saturday Night Live skit.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it probably would be a good one.
It would be. But we've got a lot to talk about what has gone on over the last 24 hours. Eutaw, Alabama got damaged last night. We'll show you some pictures of that. That's just to the east of us as it crossed into Bama. And more to talk about. That's all on the way with Scotty Ray and Candace as we start this beautiful Wednesday morning.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
On this field, as on the gridiron, each inch is fought for and marked by sweat. Each inch taken through disciplined training. With a Kubota L2501 tackling each inch in the trenches, whether those inches are measured here or here, all adding up to yards. For each yard, Kubota measures victory, and the touchdown is Parrish Tractor. Here, we're much more than a tractor store.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace early on this Wednesday morning. And Candace was bringing up that she thought there was damage also in Lowndes County. And when we were looking at that, it did hover over Lowndes County. Look at this picture here that we're getting in from WTVA from there. As you'll look at that, boy, that is a major damage.
And that's just one of the homes. I think there was some like mobile homes damaged really bad, and I don't know if there were any deaths or anything, but I know it made national news.
To my knowledge, there hasn't been any mention anywhere yet of.
I hope there were. I hope everybody stayed safe.
All right, let's look at here's Steens, Mississippi. This comes from Charles Peak. He is a weather guy, and here's his pictures of what happened here in Steens, Mississippi. Look at that home. That's what's barely left of a mobile home there.
And it's just a devastating thing. You know, you hope that people have stayed safe, but even if you've stayed safe, you've lost your home, you know, and that can be replaced. I mean, but lots of people, what if they didn't have insurance? You know,
yeah, and that does happen.
So it just breaks my heart when people have to go through that. And like I said a million times, it could be any one of us at any time.
And always keep in mind, I want y'all, you know, here's a look, here's another picture of Lowndes County. This was it looks like maybe a volunteer fire department is what this looks like of damage there. You'll see the water flying there. Yeah, that was the Lowndes County volunteer fire department there. Look at the major damage that they got. And this just goes to say, when we talk about getting to a safe place, it doesn't matter where you've got a brick home, metal home, or a mobile home, it could receive extensive damage.
That's right.
And
these nighttime tornadoes, you know, they just come out of nowhere. You don't see them.
I
even
know.
if you are reporting about it and you're sitting there watching, it's still hard to see. I mean, people that don't have a safe place to go, it's just scary.
Here's some pictures just from around Lowndes County. And let's pull this back up where people can take a look here what they've got there in Lowndes County. Look at that. Trees down. That was some type of major storm.
Oh, yeah. To uproot those old, like really strong trees, you know, the big trees, just uproot them. I mean, that's got to be some major wind.
Now, we mentioned, and let me go over and take a look at this if I can find this real quick. Over in Eutaw, Alabama, we had damage. This is, as you pull this up, this is an apartment complex that was done there. And this is from Tracy, I believe it says Falls, Quinton.
So is that the roof was just completely blown off?
Look
or
at that.
Is that a flat roof? I guess it's maybe
gone.
a flat roof.
See that? There's some studs sticking up there. I said it was an A roof at one point. Major damage there. Now, our area, for the most part, I checked in with the Lauderdale County Emergency Management, woke them up a little bit earlier, said, hey, did y'all get reports? And as of now, they have not. But if you did receive damage, they need to know about it so they can report that to the state, and they track storms as they come through the area every time. So make sure if you got any kind of damage to report that to Lima this morning.
Yeah.
And they would be certainly appreciative of that.
There was lots of people watching last night. You know, I looked at one time, there was like 1,600 people watching the show last night. So everybody was trying to stay tuned.
Yeah, and I appreciate that so much. Lima, 482-2985. Again, that number 601-482-2985 if you need to report it. Yeah, I think we even crossed over 2,200 people at one time.
Yeah, you probably did. This was early in the night that I was looking. Yeah.
And we appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. We appreciate that. We try to do our very best to give you the most accurate information to where a storm is in relation to where you are. And it will only get better. We'll add more each time that storms come to help you. Now, again, remember, November, December is our round 2 of tornadoes for the year. There's always 2 seasons, spring and then now. So I'll be here to do that. We officially close down the hurricane season. That's over. And we move into this. Tomorrow is December
1st.
Now, I spoke about this earlier, and as you as a mother, you probably will have a panic attack when we talk about this. Crystal Springs, Mississippi. A brand new store came to town. They opened up a convenience store. As with anything, teenagers need to make money. 17-year-old took a job as a clerk, murdered Monday night. The police have pictures of a minivan from a camera easing off. We certainly hope that this crime is solved.
Yes, I can't imagine.
Your life has not even begun. You're trying to make a living. It could have been anybody.
Well, in this day and time, that specific job would be, as a parent, it would be kind of worrisome if you knew your child was going to take it anyway, and then for something like that to happen. Oh my goodness.
I know, it's spooky.
Yeah.
So keep that. We don't know the family, but y'all please keep that family in your prayers as they deal with this. That's a loss that it's one thing for someone to pass away from an illness and you
Right.
know it, but a loved one that goes off to work and never gets to come home over no fault of their own.
We just live in a world right now where people just have no respect for human life.
And that
No
brings
regard.
up... No, they don't. And this brings up that next story back in 2001. We talked about this a few weeks ago where a guy's getting ready for the death penalty in the state of Mississippi. He's scheduled to be, I believe it's December the 14th, he is scheduled to be put to death. It may not happen again. He's been sitting there since 2001. He murdered a 16-year-old girl. And he may get out again. Now, he's not getting off, but it looks as though the execution will be postponed once again. They filed a complaint in 2015 about the actual drugs that will be used.
Right. I don't understand why things like that take so long.
And then a judge is now having to decide what will happen now or later. The ending result is the same. I don't
understand why it takes so much time
Yeah.
to do something like that when, it didn't take him any time to take a life. Why do you spend that many years on death row?
And if I
There's
were-
no telling how many tax dollars
Oh,
went
no.
into feeding him. And I know that sounds like I'm probably
No, I'm with
but
you on
I'm
that.
sorry. I just think that's crazy.
Well, I have trouble with that. And if you remember, he cut that young girl's tire. So when she got off work, she would be on the side of the road, and then he comes along and tries to act
So
like he's going to help her.
premeditated.
Yep.
He put thought into it. It wasn't like he just,
If I had enough hair to have dandruff, it'd be up right now, y'all. I'm working on it.
Good morning from Pigeon Forge, Shirley Jones.
What's she doing up there? I hope we get something
Ronald
back from
Jones.
Dollywood.
Yeah. I bet it's beautiful up there right now, especially if the trees are, have not been affected by wind and rain. I don't know if they have or not, but, those trees, I've always wanted to go. I've seen pictures.
You really have got to go to Dollywood. It is nothing like it. And she has really done an outstanding job of putting that together there for the folks there.
Yeah, I've been to the mountains. I've just never been to Dollywood, and I've been through Pigeon Forge, but I've never gotten to go when the leaves were changing. I've always said I wanted to do that, but it's on my bucket list.
The bucket.
If you have a bucket list.
Candace, we hadn't been probably in 15 years. That used to be
really?
our destination, and then somebody got hung on this. We got to go to the beach thing, and
Yeah.
I was bored for that. I can't. Oh,
I'm going to tell you, when we went in July to the beach, it was so hot. I swore I will never go back at that time of year. It's so commercialized now. It's just so packed with people. You can't get anywhere without being bumper to bumper. I would much rather see the mountainside. with some
I'm
pretty
that way.
trees.
But Angie, oh no, we got to go down to the beach. It just is not my thing anymore.
This time of year, I've heard, is nice to go because you're not standing in long lines.
Talking about at the beach.
Right. Now, you don't want to be out in
It's
the
a
water.
negative 10 degrees
Yeah.
on the water.
But you don't want to be laying out in the sun at this time of year. But if you want to go and just enjoy looking at the ocean, walking on the beach or something.
Now that you brought that up, let's talk about this. Right now we're sitting at 58 degrees. By 5 o'clock, it's going to be 49 degrees today. So all day
Yeah.
the temperature is falling. It will rise back up tomorrow and then be into the 70s before we get our cold front later on in December. So today's going to fake you because of that weather that come through. It's not a cold thing that's going to stay. It will jump back up. We got more coming. Scotty Ray and Candace as we start this day all together.
Have you been in an auto accident? Call Will Parker. Get the help you deserve. Call Will Parker. Don't settle for less and know your rights. Call Will Parker. Call or go online at parkerfirm.net. Call
Christmas cheer to you this year. And don't forget to order your Christmas centerpiece today. A great way to light up your table. They have hand-painted ornaments brought in from Poland, and they make great Christmas gifts and heirlooms. They carry the complete line of Satterfield pottery, and that's made in Oxford, Mississippi. And don't forget about the fresh wreaths and garlands that are available. Order yours now. Honeysuckles, 2626 North Hill Street. Gifts for the holiday season.
Get back up.
And welcome back, Scotty Ray and Candace, as we start your day here.
I'm talking. I need to get back up on the comments.
Yeah. I was going to show you while we were here talking about the weather what the temperatures are going to be, and that's what we have over the next few days. Look at that, 74 come Monday, Candace.
Goodness.
It's almost Keene weather again, y'all.
So, I mean, is it gearing up to rain again next week?
We got a little bit chance there on Saturday,
weather?
40%. It's cloudy. It's not big chances.
You always wonder when the temperatures go up, is that bringing in bad weather at this time of year? So,
Always.
Yeah.
But it will be let's see here. As you look at this, it will be, here's another look at this, another week into the month. And it will be the 8th before we start seeing 50-degree weather again. Mm-hmm. Showers in that forecast there, but that's a quick look of what lies ahead for us in the near future when it comes to weather. Well, that was bright.
Yeah, it is. Goodness.
As we look at this, we look to Vicksburg. Have you seen this at a motel in Vicksburg? We see that someone has been stabbed.
No.
It's all over. It's not just our little hometown that has issues. It's everywhere in the state. It's across the nation to where criminals have gotten to where they just kind of run things. That's my outlook on it.
But I mean, I think it has a lot to do with, you know, they don't have as many consequences.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So they probably think, oh, why not? Let me do what I want to do.
Fox News, I don't know if you saw this in the middle of all the bad weather yesterday. I'm heartbroken over this because I love this show. As we go to Fox News, they're reporting this morning as we share this with you, Trevette has passed away.
Oh, really?
Jimmy Trevette from Walker, Texas Ranger.
Was he sick or?
Well, they're not telling how he died or what he died of. They did say he had had some form of an illness for quite a while, but haven't said what it was.
Okay.
Do you know that he backed out of acting and was teaching acting at a school?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe he enjoyed that more, you know? I think there's a lot of people who later in life, they decide to do different things because, you know, the other is just not as rewarding feeling.
Yeah,
I guess,
I know what you mean.
You want to do something that kind of...
All right, let's test Candace. Let's see if she can answer this. Before he got the role there at Texas, Walker, Texas Ranger, what part did he play? What TV show was he on that was...
Matlock.
Oh, my gosh. Knock me down with a feather.
Yeah.
All right, let's back up.
He didn't have his cowboy hat on.
He didn't, and he looked a little different.
Yeah, he did.
All right, what was the big movie that was his breakthrough that got him all of that? You know it.
I don't.
Yes, you do. It's a Christmas movie. It's considered a Christmas movie. He was a bad guy, and it's so hard to picture him as a bad guy because he
was he on Die Hard?
Yep,
was that Die Hard?
that was it.
Yeah, the reason I don't remember him on that, but when you said it was a Christmas movie, but the other day they were talking about movies that are considered Christmas movies because they had Christmas scenes and all that kind of stuff in them, and Die Hard was one of them.
He played the part of the guy that broke the safe, that was always in there with the computer trying to break into the safe to get the money. That was his role in that. But totally different from what he went on to be with Andy Griffith, and boy, he played a good part on that.
He did. I liked Matlock. I like that. Andy, that was always somebody that I wish I'd have met, got to meet. I'm not real big starstruck when it comes to a lot of people.
But you would have liked him.
But there are several stars that I wish I could just have a conversation with,
And you know something that I read the other day, and I'd never even thought about it, but I guess it holds true. Do you know who the ladies' man was? He was loaded with money at that point in time, and just what they call, is it player? Is that the word?
Player?
Yeah, take a guess who the player was, and I would have never suspected it.
I don't know.
Barney.
I did hear that he was a ladies' man. I did. I find that hard to believe, but yeah, he was. He was also a ventriloquist. Did you know that?
No.
Yes, he was. He was. Look it up. Mm-hmm.
All right, there's one on me that I had totally forgotten. Freeman Miller told us that Trevette was also in Top Gun. I had totally forgot about that.
What was he in Top Gun?
He was a pilot.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Wow. Thank y'all for reminding me of that. That totally slipped my mind of what was going on there. Nothing like going fishing and, there's an issue. It happened. As people were out fishing in Minnesota, where they go, "yeah," and words like that you don't hear in the South. And the ice broke off, and 200 of them floated off. They had to be rescued.
I would have panicked.
I would have. Imagine that.
Yeah, that would have been scary.
The Titanic kind of floating away from the shoreline there.
Oh, goodness.
So what happened overnight, we did have reportings, and if you were watching, and I want to do this, if you watched last night while we were live, I got a phone call several times, and so I just paused and answered it. And it was a young lady that, and I've mentioned numerous times of people that report to me things that happen in the city, and it was a young lady and she was crying, very, very loud crying. She had heard gunshots in front of her house, and she didn't know what happened, and a lady was laying on the ground in front of her house. And as we dug deeper into that, as she called the police department and Metro arrived, the lady, I guess you would say, fainted, fell out. It scared her so bad. Someone shot, and she fell to the ground, and she needed medical attention. It was shots right down from her house, and she didn't know then at that time what had happened, and that's what that was about. This would be just south of 8th Street on Davis Street in that area. A lot of times we hear shooting there. That did happen last night. No one was hurt, no one was injured. It scared that poor lady to death, though.
Yeah, can you imagine seeing somebody laying out on the sidewalk?
Yeah, and she was looking out the window.
She probably thought the woman had been shot.
She did.
Yeah, that's scary.
She was scared to death that had what she had just witnessed on that. We go here, and this is going to be dark screen. I'm not going to change the lighting on it, but I want y'all to see this of what I'm looking at here. Let's show this screen here. Here is Northwood Country Club. Sits right here. Here's Northwood Tennis Courts. You know where that is.
Right.
Right about here on 38th Avenue and Grandview. Gunfire would break out last night. Now, no one was hurt, no one was injured, but this definitely crime has reached the northern portion of the city of Meridian. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not true.
Well, like I said the other day, I don't think any area of our city is immune to the crime.
No, it's not.
Right now. It's just not. I mean, criminals just kind of think they run the show everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where.
They're everywhere. As we look at this, here's more shots reported last night. Let me click on this picture here. This is going to be on Poplar Springs Drive is where this happened last night. The 2200 block. Here's Hope Village for Children, just 2 blocks over to the east of there. About long in there is where the shots were fired. Again, we didn't get anybody damaged. No damage that we know of. I do think there were some burglaries that happened last night. I was so caught up in weather, I have not been able to track down everything that's happened. Weather kind of outweighed someone breaking in a store, the safety of others. But we're working on some stories behind the scene to track down and find out more about it.
Yeah. In the midst of all the bad weather and stuff, I had people text me, "Can I get an appointment to get my hair cut?" I was like,
Not now.
Really? No, I'm thankful for my customers, but I was like, I'm freaking out about the weather. I don't have my book in front of me right now.
Look, somebody just sent you a message. Please answer that bottom quote there.
Would you consider helping Scotty Ray with the weather like
Candace,
last night?
where were you?
I was down the road at my mother's.
All you had to do was
with my
come
husband
down.
and my son.
You could have left them.
Gosh. No, I couldn't. No, I couldn't leave them.
Look,
I had to coerce Kurt to come to my mother's last night. He was going to stay at the house, and I was like, could you just be a little more considerate that I'm worried to death? Either way, I was going to be worried. If I stayed at home, I was going to be worried we were going to get blown away. If I went to my mother's and left him there, I was worried he was going to get blown away. But anyway, he came on over. But I want to say happy birthday. Frances Glosson says happy birthday to her sister Jeanette Batchelor. Today is her birthday, and she is 83 years old. So happy birthday, Jeanette.
Yeah, I hope you get a lot of birthday cake. I love cake now.
Yeah.
That'd be the great thing about having a lot more birthdays.
Yeah.
We look to folks that have arguments. And every now and then, temperatures rise and you yell at one another, and then somebody forgets to lock the door, Candace.
I know.
Next thing you know, you got to go cut him over it. He stabbed his girlfriend because she wouldn't lock the front door. I told you to do it.
He might have a little anger issue.
He got him.
He might need to get anger management.
He's got one now. He's in the jailhouse now in Greenville, Mississippi, in the Mississippi Delta. I mean, seriously, is that a reason to stab someone?
But he looks a little confused by his pictures.
He did. He does. And that worries me of where our nation is going, that someone thinks that something that minute of a door not being locked, it's okay to hurt someone.
Right.
Where are we headed in America?
Yeah. It's a mess, for sure.
Without a doubt. We got more on the way. Scotty Ray and Candace, as we wake you up And Miss Hallmark over here puts a smile on your face. We'll be right back.
Have you heard? Jackson Flowers has moved to their new location on Highway 19 North. They have been a part of the community for over 60 years here in the Meridian area, and they are continuing the same great service that you've known for decades to their new location. They offer floral arrangements, live and artificial, a gift shop, fall and Christmas decor, along with birthday treats for the pups. Visit Jackson Flowers in their new location 2 miles north of Walmart on Highway 19 North. Jackson Flowers, for all occasions.
Rock House Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rock House will have the gun that you need. With a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian. Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace as we were glancing across here. Denise said and this is probably a good idea and even a good idea to keep in your car. I bet you there's no telling what we'd find in Candace's car. But Denise tells us she keeps an emergency bag packed when the weather's bad in case she needs to grab.
That's a very smart idea because, normally I'm, trying to get things thrown in a bag at the last minute.
But do you keep that? Because, there's been a lot of people talking about they've been in wrecks and they were stranded and couldn't get out, and if it wasn't for a little bag that they had packed and kept in their car, they wouldn't have, snacks and crackers.
No, I don't keep that in my car. I probably should,
I try to keep a cheeseburger by the bedside anytime I get hungry.
Look, I asked Scotty Ray, I said, are these noise canceling? My stomach is growling so
You
loud.
hungry?
I'm so hungry this morning. I hope you can't hear my stomach.
Well, let's talk about those Chick-fil-A little Duma Flunkies that are so good.
Little biscuits.
Is that what? Yeah.
What are they called?
Don't.
Chick-fil-A minis.
Minis, that's it.
Yeah, they're really good.
Oh, boy.
I think they got honey butter on them.
Make you hurt yourself is what it'll do.
It will.
Nothing like getting you in the mood. And I hadn't had a homemade biscuit, and I don't remember when. Somebody that just sits down from scratch and makes the biscuits.
Yeah, I don't do that. But I've tried. They're like, I think somebody told me one time they were like skeets. You could throw them up in the
I ain't gonna comment on that.
Eat them, so yeah, that was pretty bad. I have been working on that though.
Making them better.
I'm trying.
She's using canned biscuits and faking them off. There's nothing like certain biscuits, though. You know how you sop up the plate with that?
Oh, yeah. Now, I will say that Cooking with Brenda Gant.
Yeah.
If y'all are not watching that, you need to because she's just great. But anyway, she made some homemade biscuits, and she'll tell you step by step. And I did it.
It didn't work out like her.
I mean, it did okay. It was pretty good.
It's like getting that piece of furniture you pick up that has to be assembled. And you look at the box, and then when you get done, it looks nothing like that, and you got all those parts left. And you go, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, kind of like your Coke machine.
Yeah.
Bill. He's like, I got parts everywhere.
Bill,
like,
where are you?
Just that goodbye. You probably won't put that together like it goes.
It's been apart for 11 years. I really got to do something. Let's take a moment and step back in time and look at a few things that happened on this date. This is a guy that will be in history forever as we go back to December 7th. Y'all remember that word? Winston Churchill was born on this date in 1874. He'll be around quite a while as people remember him for what all he did do. Let's see what else happened. One of America's favorites there. Back in 1835, he grew up with a young boy in the South along the Mississippi River, and, it gave him ideas. And eventually, he would change his name to something that had something to do with a steamboat called Mark Twain. He was born on this date. Samuel Clemens, 1835. You'll know him from Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, and many, many more. He always kept a glass with him and be on the safe side there. He had to deal with something.
Yeah.
I liked all of that. Now, we go back to movies that were big, and I wouldn't know this guy's name for nothing. I just know him from Rambo. He's the general, the only guy that could control Rambo that Rambo trusted. He's got a birthday today, and his name was Richard. Do you pronounce it Crenna?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that guy right there. He was in all of those movies there, and it was his birthday today, back in 1926.
All right.
This guy, we brought him up the other day on his passing, but Benson was born on this date. Y'all remember him? Robert, how do you pronounce that?
I think it's Guillaume.
Guillaume,
yeah.
Next year, we're going to capitalize the R, as we'll change that up just to make it look different.
Yeah.
You have to do extra things.
I used to watch Benson.
Loved it.
Yeah,
loved it. Over at the Governor's Mansion. 1929, this guy would get a small part in a show. It would get bigger and bigger until eventually It was huge and became a national TV show. Then you'd get to sit with him every New Year's Eve. Anybody remember Dick Clark? Born on the state in 29.
I remember.
He's just, you can't think of New Year's without him.
I know. New Year's Rockin' Eve.
Has anyone taken over that slot that really stands out that you compare it to?
What's his name?
It's not Ryan Seacrest.
Ryan Seacrest is the one who had done it for years. I don't know if he's still doing it because I don't really ever watch it anymore. But yeah, he took over.
I have a problem identifying with Ryan Seacrest. Me and him just don't mesh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hadn't figured him out yet.
1965, this guy was born. His dad was a movie star, but the thing that you probably know him for was those museum movies.
Oh, yeah, The Night at the Museum. He is funny.
He is.
He's a real funny guy. But his dad played on King of Queens. You know, he's the dad in that. Is he still alive? I don't know.
I think he passed away. Wasn't he also in Seinfeld, the dad in it also?
Yes, he was. That was his dad. And his mother, she played a part on the King of Queens too. She didn't play his wife, but she played some kind of role. And I can't remember what her name is, but yeah, it's his mom and dad.
I cannot watch that King of Queens.
I like it.
I cannot. Again, I have identity problems with that. That guy just. Me and him couldn't go. I think I always relate to it this way. Would I want to go hunting with this person? Mm-hmm. He didn't pass the test. 1968, what happened? Well, the number one song across America, and people loved it. It was big. The Wichita Lineman became the number one song on this date back in 68 from Glenn Campbell. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Kind of a thing where he just rides down the road and climbs poles.
Yeah.
We won't go any further than that. 1975, this young lady, she was beautiful. She was just a very troubled young lady.
Yeah.
As Mindy McCready was born on this date. She needed 10,000 angels. Mm-hmm. It would end in a very bad way. Let's see what else happened on this. Oh, I didn't even know her name, but I sure recognized her face after I got to looking at this. Anybody watch The Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
She was super hot, and she liked the little nerdy dude. Well, her name is Kaylee. You pronounce that how? Cuckoo or Coco? For Cocoa Puffs?
Cuoco or something, I'm not sure.
Yeah, she's not a Smith. I'm going to go ahead and tell you all that right now. But she was born on this date back at 85, and she's made millions as she entertained you there on The Big Bang Theory. A lot of people love that TV show. 1993, this was big, very sad movie, heart-moving. If you'll remember, this was released to theaters on this date back in 93, Schindler's List, if I am pronouncing that correctly. A big, big, big movie there. So that happened on this date also. Let's see, we got a few other things. If you'll remember, there was a bill and it banned guns for a little while. It was called the Brady Bill. It was signed on this date back in 93. It would eventually be dropped, but the Brady Bill was signed on this date way back when.
I can't even stand looking at him. I'm sorry. That's ugly.
I'm going to get you a little heart with this picture.
That's an ugly thing to say, I guess. But,
you won't. I wonder if any more of those pictures, if they, you know how they make posters of things, that picture of him in the dress that was at Epstein's house?
Oh.
Do you reckon
I
that's...
don't know.
I was just curious what you thought there.
I don't know. I guess I don't have any tolerance for
what
he did.
You look at everything that's going on in America, and it wasn't just that one girl.
No,
Y'all
but
know
I mean,
that.
the stuff the big deals that have been made about, to me, not as major of a thing as he did.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just like swept under the rug.
It was.
And he's still out in public making,
Well, And as we learned, if you go back and look at all that, Hillary set up a command post to destroy anyone. She hired private detectives to follow them around to dig up dirt on anybody that said anything about them.
Yeah.
That's what was going on behind the scenes. And be truthful about the matter, there is no telling what is going on right now behind the scenes that would make your jaw drop, I'm sure, if you were to find out. And most things, the average Joe in America will never know what happens. And that's what is sad. Mm-hmm. True things are never reported anymore. It's only, there's certain people that control the media. We all know that.
Yeah, it's a definite one-sided situation in a lot of instances. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
And
people that give to campaigns, y'all know that any favor they want is cashed in at some point in time. It may not be directly where it could be followed, but let's face it, That's life. That does happen.
Yeah, it does.
1994, let's move up a year. I love this show, Heart to Heart. Who remembers that? Remember the chauffeur driver? Yeah.
I do.
He was born on this date. Oh, no, he passed away. Whoops.
Oh,
Front
he
row.
passed away in 1994.
Yeah, Jay.
If
is
he
his
was
name.
born, he aged very fast.
You know, you're right. Not sure what happened to the puppy dog there, Freeway.
Oh.
Robert Wagner, and of course, Stephanie Powers. What a beautiful woman she is. I'm sure she still looks today. We lost one of the greatest that most little boys had to have a toy. They had to do something, and they took their bicycles and they tried to jump things. Who am I talking about? Evel Knievel passed away on this date back in 07, really relatively at an early age, at 69. I've always heard that at least every bone in his body's been broken at least 4 or 5 times each.
Oh, gosh.
That man put himself through some stuff. But he was good at what he done. If you'll remember, I know he went out in a bad way and had to go to prison one time, but he always was that guy you looked up to as a kid.
Yeah.
We know that.
I think they sold Evel Knievel dolls and everything, didn't they?
Yes, he was one of the first to get that done. He made a lot of money back in the day off of that. Let's see here. 2013, Paul Walker passed away at the age of 40.
That was shocking when that happened. I mean, that really was. That was a shocker. I hated that. That was awful. And too, the way that he passed away was awful.
This guy had a very unique sound. He passed away on this date back in, 2017? At the age of 87. Jim Neighbors.
He was funny.
Can you mock him?
Goofy funny.
Gomer?
I can, but I'm not going to.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I can't pull it out of you?
I can be funny when I want to. No, I can mock him, but no, I'm not going to do that on TV.
Back in 94, we would lose the very first George H.W. He passed away on this date at the age of 94. I got that wrong there. He passed away today. As you look at things that went on in history, a few of those there.
They keep saying that we keep disappearing.
I'm not sure if they're referring to, we're not on television this week due to the soccer games. I'm not sure if it's that or
Somebody
if they're
said
having trouble.
it keeps pausing earlier, or just a little while ago, and then somebody said, "Oops, where'd you go? Are they off the air? You keep disappearing." So I don't know.
Well, we'll go back and look at the feed. I'm not sure what would be going
Off
on.
now.
What would be going on? We've got a clear signal. It looks like on our end of what we're seeing.
So can you hear us? You just can't see us, or if you can hear us but can't see us, just give us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
So we'll know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know what the issue is. What you're seeing there. More on the way from Scotty Ray and Candace as we start this Wednesday.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose our pharmacy, you're choosing a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community. Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Time to stop spending your entire weekend mowing grass. Step up to a Skag zero-turn lawnmower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk. As we talk about our friends at Snowden and Company, 453-3937 is the number to speak to those good folks there. They'll help you out there. If you're looking for your very first home, well, they'll walk you through this because it is a new challenge when you do this the first time. Things that you just don't know. They know all this. They do it on a daily basis, and they can help you pick it out. You tell them what you want, what you like in a home. They'll track that home down for you when it comes available, Get it ready for you. From Dalewood to any of the subdivisions, or if you're looking for a place that you won't land, you don't want to be around anybody, you think it's best that you're alone, they can do that also. Snowden and Company, all the way from, Lake Ross Collins, they can help you out all the way to the Jackson, Mississippi area, Flowood, those areas, Meridian, Clark County. Talk to them. They'll find out more. Here's your negotiating expert. Yep. That's her. Talk to her. She'll tell you more. That's Amanda. This is her staff. Again, they can be reached at 453-3937. Easy to find here in Meridian, and they'll get you into a new home before long at all. Get you the most that you can for your house also.
That's right.
Getting a lot of comments that Facebook may be having some issues. Join us on YouTube. A clear signal there as well if you want to watch from there. And again, Scotty Ray Report, type that in. You'll find the channel there and do that. That'll get you going there. Let's see what else we've got going on today across America as we look at some headlines that are shaping our nation. I don't understand how a judge sits in a room, someone comes before him, and then they end up going, okay, you've got some mental problems, so we're going to send you off for mental help instead of prison. This guy killed a husband and a wife, and then did cannibalism on the husband. He's not going to really do any time. He's headed off to a mental institution instead. Killed. It would.
So what do? You put him in a mental institution and put him like on a major lockdown or away from everybody else? Because he did eat some.
That's a good question.
You're gonna put him in with other people.
And I don't know a lot about the law when it comes to that end of it, of the mental institution where you lock people up for things that they say that they done or didn't know that they did. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't know, but boy, this was one of those strange cases.
Well, he claims that they put him in a mental hospital because before he murdered the victims, he claims he was being chased by a demon. So obviously there was some mental issues going on with him, either that or maybe he was under the influence of something. I don't know.
Yeah,
something wasn't right, but still,
it's just horrible.
It's an awful
loved ones
thing.
left behind
I
to
can't even
watch.
imagine.
Do you know this country singer? I did not know him. A guy named Jake Flint. Must be a newcomer to the thing. He got married and he died that night in his sleep on his wedding night. 37 years old. I don't know if he was a big star or if he was just someone trying to break in. I'm not familiar with his music. Is the reason I say that.
I've never heard that name either.
Let's see here.
Sad, though. That is awful.
We did mention this a little bit earlier this morning about Twitter. 62,000 people get their account back now. Elon has swung his gavel down and says they didn't do anything wrong. Give it back to them.
I noticed that a lot of people were saying they had a lot more followers too when he took it over. So obviously they had somebody blocked, or I don't know. They were somehow withholding people to be followers.
I've even seen where the White House may investigate them now. It's just amazing how things like that work, isn't it? TikTok being banned in South Dakota. She ain't putting up with it. And again, we've warned y'all about this several times about this is a foreign country that owns TikTok. And when you accept that, it gives them access to your phone of what's on it. Read all of that stuff.
There are funny videos on there. I've seen other people's. I don't have TikTok on mine. But, they do have access to a lot of your information once you join that or put that app on your phone.
Right.
They do. It would just worry me because a lot of people do banking on their phone.
Yes.
If they could somehow get into your bank account, it's just scary. It's not worth a funny video,
No, it's
worth
not.
all that.
We see now Al Capone, one of the toughest there ever was. Someone has gone to the graveyard and, do you call it defaced? Is that? This is what his grave marker, what they did there. That comes to us from Daily Mail as they go out and put spray paint across it, that's been a pretty common thing across America, spray painting anything that someone doesn't like these days. And we just keep up with that. Let's see here. The White House does confirm that they are monitoring Twitter with all the different changes now. Hubba, hubba, hubba.
Yeah.
Just thought you might want to know that.
This right here is just crazy, man.
Yeah, let's go back to the White House. And let me give you the title of this before I show you his picture. He, let's see here. He's got this big title where he works for the government now. In a nuclear waste job in President Joe Biden's Department of Energy. Let's see here. Yeah. He is the Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Office of Spent Fuel and Waste Deposition. I have no idea what that office is.
I don't know either, but all I know is...
And this is the guy. Let me... I hope I'm using the right pronoun.
Just say guy, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a guy.
Yeah.
Dressed in women's clothing.
Yeah, that picture didn't show up right for some reason on the screen there. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me back that down. There you go.
There it is, yeah.
But he's been arrested for taking somebody else's bag at the airport. He'd been charged with stealing. Mm-hmm. Will that affect his job? I don't know. But I thought you might just want to see that picture.
Don't you know that Ronald Reagan is rolling over in his grave? Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just move on to our next subject here and leave that alone there. Hugh Freeze has been named as the Auburn coach. No word yet if he's going to have an escort to the school.
Huh?
I was waiting to see if you got that.
No.
Yeah,
I guess it did. What?
That might be why he lost his last job.
Oh, okay. An escort.
Kenny Rogers, 1-900.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember, he called some form of a service on a school phone, and they didn't like that. It's been 5 years now, and he's going back. He's a great coach. Mm-hmm. I think Auburn will do well with him. Mm-hmm. Just buy another phone, man. Buy another phone.
Look, I'm going to tell you what. That can be the downfall of a lot of things.
Like when Candace Heine dials me all the time. And I'm like, Candace, stop it. I can hear it. Stop.
I do not honey dial. I have done that.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, they have another name for it. It's not honey dialed. But
I was trying to be politically correct there.
Oh, I know. But yeah, I have like left my call log opened or something, and hit the button and called somebody, and I'm sitting there just, and I posted my grocery list to the Facebook one time by accident.
I was working on a ladder last week, and I put my phone in my front pocket, and I don't know how many times I called Dylan. Many times. I could hear her voice. It's like, where is that coming from?
Yeah.
More coming up with Scotty Ray and Candace. Good morning. Join Mike Rice Auctions and Wholesales every Tuesday night for a live auction, and you can bid from the comfort of your own home. Each week, Mike has a whole selection of auction items. Maybe you're a business that needs a liquidation sale. Or maybe you're in charge of an estate and don't know what to do with all you got. Talk to Mike Rice Auctions about an estate sale. Let Mike turn these items into cash for you. Your next deal is waiting for you at Mike Rice Auctions and Wholesale this Tuesday night, live on Facebook at 6:30.
When you gear up and journey out, with nothing but you and the wilderness for miles, just remember, you're the boss. Steel MS-271 Farm Boss, built for the toughest jobs. Journey onward.
The Neshoba County Co-op is your one-stop shop for all your camouflage and clothing needs. To stylish flannel shirts and those warm Carhartt jackets. Maybe it's a new set of pants you need or bib overalls. A large selection of t-shirts and the latest fashions and colors when it comes to scrubs. A big selection of kids' clothing and Carhartt with jackets and more. With John Deere toys and a whole lot more. If it's on Santa's list, it can be found at the Neshoba County Co-op, 338 West Main Street, Philadelphia. Godwin Cleaning Services, they're there today to take care of anything between now and Christmas, getting you set up on that schedule. Call them ahead of time. Usually doesn't take but a couple hours to get whatever you're needing cleaned if you've got a business. Now, that takes a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. Big buildings, they do all that. Homes, they'll get that vinyl siding right back, or brick or rock or metal, including roofs and shingles. They got little things that fly up there and take care of that now.
That's right. It's the season to get everything cleaned up right now. 'Cause this time of year, stuff like that does get all mildewed. And,
Yeah, look at that driveway. You've seen that before. You probably got one at your house.
Yeah.
Get that straightened out. You'll find McGowan Cleaning Services from your back deck to your steps. Don't slip and fall. Get it taken care of. See them today. They got the latest equipment that can handle you. From a scoreboard to a billboard, it all works out. 253-8262. Godwin Cleaning Services. They'll do you right, and your place will look so much better. Drop in and visit with them today. We got a few more minutes left. Let's see here. Linda says she wants to give a great shout out for keeping everybody informed during the stormy weather. Amazing at what you do. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
The only thing missing was Candace, as we said. She didn't want to come play.
I can't leave my family and come up here to do. I can't.
I've had them call me and go, "Will you please invite her?"
Look,
you just don't realize.
You need me on the phone, Scotty Ray.
You
I
just
need to
don't realize.
I guess I need to step outside and tell you, like by FaceTime or something, what's going on outside while you're monitoring the computers inside.
Now, this next thing that I want to bring up, you don't really think a lot about it. The paddy wagon. You've heard that before. You've seen it in every movie, and they do exist where a large group of people are arrested and they're put in the back of a van. And they sit on a little bench and taken to the police station. There was a guy, and the cops thought that he was faking it. They went around a curve, and he fell off the bench and hit the floor, and he told them that he was hurt. Well, they ignored it. They thought he was faking.
Right.
Well, it ended up the cops have been charged. He really was injured and had to be taken to the hospital. But think about that, being handcuffed in the back, and there is no seatbelt.
Yeah.
You're just on a bench. It's a wonder that we haven't had numerous problems with this before.
So I wonder if he was like not really well before he got in there and something happened.
I don't know. He hit the
He
floor.
was left paralyzed from the neck down. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness.
It's a major thing. But they've been charged in this. Well, we certainly hate that happening. And like I said, there's no way something like that hasn't happened before. It even worries me about school buses that they used to not. Maybe it's changed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we were in an accident one time and come flying around the corner and hit a bank. Kids went everywhere.
Ooh.
It was scary.
Well, that's going to about wrap everything up for us this morning. We want to say thank you for joining us and be a part of what we do.
Yes.
We certainly appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow morning.
8 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, I hope you can join us. And, it's cool outside. It's the difference from yesterday. So take your jacket with you if you have to go somewhere.
Dropping to 49 by 5 o'clock. Woof.
Goodness. But we will see you back in the morning, 8 a.m. sharp. So y'all have a beautiful and blessed day.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: